Beautiful human being, welcome to another episode of Soul Speaks with Spack. In today's episode, we're going to be covering 4 mistakes that you're probably making that are sabotaging your relationship. For every mistake that I mention, I'm going to offer you a simple and practical way forward that will create more connection, love, safety, and intimacy within your relationship. And stay tuned because at the end, I'm going to drop a bonus tip, so make sure you don't miss out on that. Now, let's dive in. The first mistake you're probably making that's sabotaging your relationship is that you're over-analytical. You're spending so much time up here in your mind trying to figure it all out. You're focused on your partner and all of the things that they're doing wrong, how they're not meeting your own needs, and you're over-intellectualizing everything because you spend so much time in front of a computer, at work, you spend so much time on social media listening to all of these different ideas. You're overloaded with information to the point where you can't get out of your own mind and into your heart. And so therefore, you never get to experience true connection and presence with your partner because you're so stuck up here in your mind. So my invitation and my challenge for you is to spend more time taking a break and slowing down and tuning in. To spend more time away from social media, away from podcasts and books, and consuming more information. Isn't it ironic because you're listening to a podcast right now? But I challenge you to spend more time being with your partner, seeing them, feeling them, hearing them, understanding them, seeking to know and understand them. Rather than acting like you know them, seek to understand them because there is so much more about them that you probably haven't yet discovered. Just like there's probably so much more about you that you haven't yet discovered. And in my opinion, a great way to do that is through letting go of all of the external noise and through letting go of the need to continuously acquire more information and letting go of the need to figure your whole life out through your mind. Like, how often do you give yourself permission to just be in the present moment? So a great way to practice this is by literally dropping from your mind into your body, because understand that your mind is stuck in the past, judging yourself for who you were in the past, or your mind is in the future, being anxious, being worried about things that haven't even happened yet. Your body, on the other hand, is here in the present. Your body is always here in the now. So dropping into your body can be a matter of taking 3 or 4 deep conscious breaths, breathing in deeply through your nose, and then extending your exhale out through your mouth. Taking 3 to 5 deep breaths and just tuning in and dropping in and letting go of the distractions and inviting your partner in to do the same. Another way that you can create more connection and trust and safety within the relationship is by having dedicated times throughout the week where you are together as a couple, free of distractions. And this is an opportunity for you to just check in with each other and be there. And you can play a cards game together. You can have a conversation together. You can review the week. You can review the relationship. You can do whatever you feel called to do. But creating time and space that is dedicated to you two as a couple, just being there with each other, is going to help you drop out of your mind and into your heart and into your body. And this is where you can come together and strengthen the connection. The second mistake that you're probably making that is sabotaging your relationship is nagging, nitpicking, criticizing, pointing the finger, and playing the blame game. You're so focused on your partner and the ways that they are dropping the ball that you forget to acknowledge all of the amazing qualities that they have. And because you're so quick to point the finger and blame your partner, they're walking around on eggshells and living in fear because they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be shamed. They don't want to be made to feel like they're not enough or they're unworthy, right? What if you started to focus on all of the amazing things about your partner? Why did you choose to be with them in the first place? Can you encourage and compliment their great qualities? Because that is going to inspire them to bring more of that forward. So the more that you nag and nitpick and point the finger at your partner, the more they're going to want to contract and go inwards and be small, or they might try to fight you and they might try to defend themselves and they might try to stick up for themselves, because no one within a relationship should feel as though they're constantly being nagged at and nitpicked and micromanaged, because we're adults, we're human beings, and we both deserve to have our own autonomy and we both deserve to be respected within the relationship. But if you're constantly pointing the finger at your partner, if you're constantly blaming them for your pain, for your problems, understand that this is only going to push them further away. When you focus on their strengths, when you focus on all of the amazing qualities that you love about them and embracing that within them, that's going to inspire them to bring more of that out. You must be able to accept and embrace your partner for who they are at their core. And that comes through you accepting and embracing who you are at your core. And for many of us human beings, we have the perfect person ideology. We're perfectionists and we want to be perfect and we never want to do anything wrong. We never want to trigger anyone. And because we're so attached to being the perfect person, we expect everyone else to be perfect around us. And we forget that other people are flawed just like we are. So being able to accept and embrace ourselves through the lens of compassion and patience, this is really key in having a thriving relationship where you can both feel safe to bring your gifts forward into the relationship and thrive as a couple. So I challenge you to stop being entitled. I challenge you to stop having these grand expectations of your partner and being disappointed every time they fall short of these grand expectations that you have. I challenge you to start embracing all of the amazing qualities within your partner and accepting all of their flaws as well. And this comes through you accepting all of your own flaws. This comes through you allowing yourself to be imperfectly perfect, allowing yourself to be flawed, allowing yourself to let go of the need to be the perfectionist, allowing yourself to embrace everything and everyone as they are, starting with yourself. Now, this goes without saying, but let me make it clear. I'm not in any way saying that you must tolerate abuse. That is absolutely unacceptable. You do not tolerate that in any way. I am saying that you must embrace your partner, flaws and all. If your partner is a little bit shy, if they're a little bit introverted, if they struggle to speak up for themselves sometimes, don't use their weakness against them. Don't point the finger and shame them, because this makes them want to go inwards and be so small. And this doesn't inspire them to grow and thrive within the relationship. In fact, acknowledge and accept and embrace them for who they are. And this is going to inspire them to grow and reveal more of themselves within the relationship. That's number 2. Stop nagging, nitpicking, and pointing the finger, and start taking responsibility and embracing your partner for who they are at their core. Mistake number 3 that is sabotaging your relationship is projecting your insecurities onto your partner. Let me give you an example. You and your partner are getting ready to go out for dinner. You're dressed up, you're looking great. And your partner says, "Hey babe, you look amazing tonight." And you respond by saying, "What? What about all the other times? Are you saying that I don't look beautiful all the other times?" And what you've done here is you've taken this positive compliment that your partner has shared with you and you've flipped it on its head and you've projected your insecurities onto them. And this creates a disconnection. This instantly puts your partner on the defense. And if your partner doesn't feel safe within the relationship, then they're going to want to defend and be like, "No, look, I think that you're beautiful all the time." But a strong partner will just laugh it off, because this is just an insecurity that you're projecting onto them. This is something that you've created within yourself that isn't necessarily true. Your partner is just acknowledging and complimenting the beauty that they see within you in this moment. But this does not mean that they don't see that all the time, or they don't think that of you all the time. So what you've done here is you've taken a positive and flipped it on its head and made it a negative thing. And next time they're probably going to question whether or not they want to compliment you. So my challenge for you is to take ownership of these insecurities and to start understanding them. So for example, you may not like this flab that's around your belly or the flab that's around your arms. And this insecurity is deep rooted for you. It means a lot to you. But just because it means a lot to you doesn't necessarily mean that your partner or anyone else is thinking that about you. So by you projecting that onto them, it creates this disconnect. So when you instead take ownership of this insecurity and you start to learn to accept this part of yourself and embrace this part of yourself, then in future, when your partner does compliment you, you can receive that compliment. And that's another thing you can focus on. Practice receiving. Practice receiving compliments, help, and support. Us human beings are naturally so good at giving, but we often find it challenging to receive. So practice receiving compliments, help, and support, and this will help you receive the love that you are worthy of receiving. Now, mistake number 4 that is sabotaging your relationship is taking things personally. And this happens all the time. Your partner says to you, hey, I'm upset by that. You've hurt my feelings. And you respond by saying, well, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean that. And you're defending and you're justifying. And what you're not seeing here is what your partner is communicating is a wound that has come up within them, is pain from their past that has resurfaced. And this is an opportunity for you to meet them with compassion and curiosity and to seek to understand what they're going through. But when you take it personally, you're focused on defending yourself and you're not actually hearing them and you're not actually understanding them. And therefore there's a disconnect that's happening within the relationship. So my challenge for you is to start leading with openness and curiosity, is to take yourself out of the equation and to stop feeling the need to defend yourself. Because what happens when you're overly focused on defending yourself and explaining your reasons for why you were behaving the way that you were is that your partner feels like you don't actually care and you're not actually seeking to understand what they're going through. So I challenge you to take yourself out of the equation, to stop taking it personally and instead to focus on your partner and what they're communicating with you. And not just the words that they're communicating to you, but the emotional state that is underpinning those words that they are expressing. So tune into your partner, notice what they're feeling, notice what they're expressing, and see if you can tune into the wounded little girl or boy that is living within them when they're expressing that pain and expressing that frustration. This is going to help them feel seen, it's going to help them feel safe, and it's going to help them feel like you actually care. And this is going to bring you guys closer together. So practice taking yourself out of the equation. Practice not taking everything so personally, and practice not seeing everything as an attack on you that you need to defend yourself from. As promised, I said I was going to give you a bonus tip, and here it is. Mistake number 5 that you're probably making that is sabotaging your relationship is focusing more on what you can take and what you can get from the relationship rather than what you can give. You're so focused on your partner, what they're not giving to you, what you need, and you lose sight of the fact that, hey, this is a two-way street, and you giving and focusing on what you want to bring to the relationship will very likely invite your partner to want to give back. So my challenge for you is to notice when you're swept up in all the ways that your partner is not meeting your needs, all of these unspoken expectations that you have. Notice when you're getting swept up in this, and then focus on what you want to give to the relationship. Focus on what you want to give to your partner. Focus on the way that you want to make them feel. This is where your power lies. This is what you're actually in control of. And what's going to happen as a result is that they're going to want to mirror that back. They're going to want to give that back. What you give is what you will get. If you're constantly focused on what you can take and what you can get, then you're going to constantly be dissatisfied, be disappointed. So my challenge for you is to focus on what you want to give, and this is going to inspire your partner to give back as well. This is a wrap for today's episode. I trust it's been helpful. As always, any questions or thoughts, drop them down below. And if you know someone that could benefit from this episode, be a good friend and pass it forward. Please rate the show. Feel free to chuck it up on your social media story, tag me, because I love to see how these episodes are impacting you. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next episode, venture beyond limitation. Let's go.